Okay, we are back. Thank you all for hanging with us. This is Andrew Barry with HitTrax. We apologize. We had some technical issues on our side. We had to refresh the game to get things going, to get this synced up, but we are back and we are ready to get started here. So just like before, Elena is calling both of the athletes. Just going over the ground rules and getting the players ready to start hitting here, which will start momentarily. So you are watching game number one of the finals between Emily Benson, graduate from Western Washington University, and Amber Schisler, played overseas in Austria, and she graduated from Campbell University. So Amber comes in as the 13 seed, maybe a little bit of an underdog, against Emily, a 7 seed. I think both of these players were underdogs ultimately coming into this tournament, a field that was loaded with Olympic athletes, professional athletes from Athletes Unlimited, players from Team USA, Team Italy, Team Mexico. And here we are with the 7 seed and the 13 seed ready to kick things off. So game one of a 3-game series. Again, the winner is going to take home $10,000. The loser has already guaranteed themselves $4,000, so they're not walking away empty-handed. So you're watching the HitTrax Open presented by Lizard Skins and Marucci. Emily Benson versus Amber Schisler. We'll get started here in a second. Again, these players are both hitting off of pitching machines, coming in at a minimum plate speed of 50 miles an hour. And some of them might be just a little bit above that based on their timing. So we've seen an unbelievable tournament from both players. Amber had an incredible comeback in round one to move on, and a close game against one of the top players, I think in the overall tournament, Amanda Chittister, with a close 2-run victory. And then she turned it on offensively against Sash Palacios to win 2 games out of 3 in advance here. And Emily Benson had a pretty decent first round, and looks like Amber's going to kick things off. Emily Benson won her first game 22-14, and then went on to put up 54 runs in round number 2. And in the 3-game series, it went down to the 3rd game, but in that 3rd game, she ended up putting up another 50-plus run spot. So you see her start here with a ground out to first base. So she has 1 dead. Amber is on the book, and looks like Emily is here as well, too. She is starting to rip it. Starts out with a base hit to the left side. Nice little single. And we're off. Here we go. So we'll get joined by Elena here shortly. Runners on first base for both players. Emily on the left side of your screen is hitting out of DBAT in Kennewick, and Amber on the right side of your screen is hitting out of EM Speed School. And it looks like she has found herself a bat. If you've been following along, she ran out of bats. It was the machine seemed to be cracking quite a bit of her. And there actually goes a home run from Emily Benson. So that was a well-struck ball to center field. And it looks like she's going to be the first one on the board so far.
And Andrew, I'm back right on cue for Emily
There you
Benson
go.
to put another shot out and start getting her rhythm rolling. I think this is going to be one heck of a matchup. Definitely worth a wait, if nothing else. So I'm looking forward to watching Emily get on fire. I heard a little bit of your recap, so I apologize if I repeat anything at all here. But it's exciting to see both of them get off to a pretty good start with runners in scoring position in the first inning.
Yeah, the beginning of this game is going to be pretty crucial. I think Emily has put herself quite a bit ahead earlier in the game so far. So we'll see if she can maintain that pace. It looks like she's already moving. There's another base knock, scoring a run, putting runners on first and second. We've seen some high velocity home runs from Emily, and Amber on a few of her hits in that semifinal matchup put exit velocities up almost at 90 miles an hour. I think she was 88 miles an hour plus. So I'm excited to see some power from these athletes. They both look like they're in a pretty quick rhythm. We've got quite a few runs on the board already so far.
Yeah, moving at a good pace. And I think it's interesting to compare the 2 different approaches. I think, again, Emily Benson steps in the box, constantly putting the first or second pitch in play. So she'll move at a good rhythm, but what I really like about her game is if she makes a couple quick outs, she'll step out, she'll see what Amber's doing on the other side of the screen. But conversely, I think Amber typically takes a little bit more time in between pitches. So we'll see her slow down. Look, that looks like a shot from Emily in true M-bend fashion. But we see Amber take her time a little bit more, maybe get deeper in that 4-pitch count, back-to-back jacks for Emily Benson, back-to-back Benson, I
Wow.
think is the hashtag. Look at her go. I'm interested to see not just how this the clip of this first game goes, but also the second. And my money is on a third game here. I wouldn't be surprised to see these two take it to a forced game 3. So I'm curious to see how we progress as we roll along.
Yeah, Emily just put a shot 84 miles an hour. There's another one. I mean, she's ripping it so far, putting herself up by a little bit of a margin here. Again, 3 or 4 runs in these HitTrax formats are not is not insurmountable. We saw, again, like you said, a 12-run comeback from Amber in the first round. So, and there's just an absolute missile off the wall to left center field from Emily.
So pretty cool to note in the comments. So Amber Schisler, that's a shot out of M-Ben. I think that sneak out. Look at her go. Amber Schisler played 3 seasons professionally in Austria. We just got a comment, 4 a.m. in Austria, wide awake to cheer on our national team coaches. Go, Amber. So pretty awesome to see the communities that are rallying around these two players throughout the whole tournament. I think we mentioned it earlier, but Western Washington hosting a watch party. We see the dugout getting loud for M-Ben today at their practice. So it's really been just incredible to see the community rally around these two players in their run here in the HitTrax Open.
So we've got Amber with 2 outs so far. It looks like she just put a ball out to right center field. That was a nice shot. And Emily is still going as well, too. Emily only has 1 dead here in the inning.
That'll do it.
And Emily Benson again, 76 miles an hour at 29 degrees. That's going to do it. Those launch angles between 20, 30 degrees. Again, 85, 86 miles an hour at 23 degrees from Emily Benson. She's starting to tee off, and there's a ground ball from Amber Schisler for her 3rd out of the inning. So she's got, looks like to be an 8-run deficit so far. And Emily has 2 outs to go. So this is a case where now Amber can just do nothing but watch.
Yeah, and this is the most painful part, is having to sit back and watch as the other person still has some outs to play with. And typically, I will say this, I don't want to jinx her, but we've seen Emily do some damage and put up some crooked numbers in any opportunity to take the lead. And look at her go, 316-foot bomb right on cue.
That's the power we're talking about.
Yeah, when Emily starts driving that left center, left field gap, she gets her barrel out in front. She is unstoppable. We saw her do that in game 3 of the semifinals against Piper. She started using that left field a little bit more consistently than she was using it previously, and that power was just unstoppable. Over the scoreboard. Let's go, and Ben. Holy cow.
Wow, she's on a streak here. 18 and another one, 87 miles an hour at 20 degrees. Are you kidding me? It's 19-6 now, and she takes a pitch deservedly so. So again, this is game 1. Amber is just helplessly watching there. I mean, if you look right now, Emily's mishits are going 81 miles an hour for a ground ball up the middle.
You could that just looks tell like that off might her bat. She is feeling it. So one of our keys to the game here for Emily Benson was keep the pressure on, and that bullet point solely comes back to Amber's ability to close in on a lead. So, keep an eye on her here in the 3rd inning to start mounting at least some kind of a comeback, put some runs up on the board, start closing that gap. And if you're Emily, no lead is safe here in this finals matchup.
Absolutely not, as we enter into the 3rd inning here. So yeah, 13 runs at this point is nothing but a quick first out for Amber and a quick first home run for Emily. we'll see if this ever ceases. I think it's going to have to cease for Amber to be able to stay in this. So that was one of the keys to the game that we mentioned for Emily, was get ahead early, stay ahead, and Amber's just got to keep this within fighting distance to start out. So you're seeing the pitch count again. Each player gets 4 pitches to put a ball in play. So if they don't put a ball in play through those 4 pitches, then that ultimately is an out. So on the 3rd pitch there, you just saw Emily put a ball in the gap for a double. She's got a runner on second with nobody out. And Amber is 3 pitches into this at bat. That is a shot.
That's a great response out of Amber, down to her final pitch of that at bat, putting up a triple. That's awesome. She needed that.
80 miles an hour. So I think one of the things we were saying is Amber really needs to stay off the ground. She can get in a little bit of trouble occasionally with that. Just like that ball right there, 78 miles an hour in the gap. That's exactly what she needs to do, and she can do it on command when she's feeling it. So you see her in the video, take a step back, look at her bat, breathe, maybe say a little quick something to herself.
Yeah, and Amber's told us her mantra is anything's possible. And we absolutely love that. And that's so true to this game in general, is just anything is possible. With any swing, you can change the momentum, you can get things going your way. And so I really like to see her here continue to step out, keep her pace, not look over at what's going on in the other half of the screen too much, but just stay true to her game. And I wouldn't be surprised to find her back in it pretty soon.
She's got 2 outs here. She's going to need to put a little run together. We're only in the 3rd inning, but this is only a 6-inning game. There is the 2nd out for Emily. So she's on pace to put up, probably another 50-run ball game, which is going to be tough to match here. But again, 3-game series, plenty of time still left, but she's got to make some moves. And there is one dead center, 273 feet from Amber, exactly what she needs to do. She's got to go on a run, both with 2 outs here. So I think you're hoping that she can keep the streak going, and she just rolled over. There's that ground ball at negative 16 degrees. And on the other side, look at that, an 85-mile-an-hour home run from Emily Benson.
Yeah, look at her go. We should start calling Ben the machine. I mean, it just, even when she misses, she squares up at 81 miles per hour. She's just so consistent in her delivery of the barrel. I think she, by far, had the highest average exit velocity of the bracket round at 77 miles per hour. Average exit velocity. I mean, again, she just, even when she misses, she doesn't really miss.
So we have 3 outs for both players. We're moving on to the 4th inning here. 6-inning ball game. Amber is going to go ahead and get in and get things started. We do see her swing and miss a little bit, or swing and foul off a few pitches. She puts a lot of force behind her swing. I think that just might be behind that. She really is trying to put the barrel on, and a quick one for Emily, 68 degree. That is a shot. Look at that. She can do it. We saw her put up.
She can absolutely do it.
She can go on a run here, and 2 very quick outs for Emily. Exactly what Amber needed to get things rolling.
Yeah, so earlier in some of our conversations with Amber, she described herself as a grinder in her at-bats. And I think that toughness, that mentality, whether you're down to your last pitch or down to your last out, or you find yourself down a crooked number, with a couple innings left to play, if there's one thing that we've learned about her, she's going to find a way to get back into this game. She's going to find a way to put some runs up, and exactly what she needed. She needs Emily to be watching her on the other side of this screen. And that's okay. That's the beauty. Swing and miss. Sometimes you get unlucky, and on a swing like that, when you're off time, you put the ball in play, and it's an easy out. So, kind of a break there for Amber to actually take a swing and miss, have an opportunity to step back in with a few pitches left to play with, and not waste an out. Let's see what she does with it. That's unfortunately not going to do it.
No, but she's still got plenty of time. You can put up another 5 or 6 runs even with an out remaining. So we've seen her do that already. Very within the range. I think she probably wants to try and cut this down to a 10-run lead, but she has recorded her 3rd out. So she's trying to get a rhythm a little bit. She seems a little bit frustrated, maybe some nerves kicking in. Again, there is a lot on the line here, $10,000. So you see her shake her head a little bit, working through some things. And the other thing, the machines, like you said, it's okay to swing and miss. These machines are generally throwing strikes, but sometimes they can throw in some cutters or some balls down in the zone. So you really, there still is a little bit of patience here. You got to wait for your pitch that you're going to be able to drive into the gap.
Yeah, and I think that was a great point that Amber made with you in an interview earlier this week. Is it's shocking how hard it is to be patient off a machine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a shot out of Emily Benson. Holy cow! So to that point, for her to be able to get deep into counts, do exactly what she just did, use her opposite field power. Even if she's not able to mount the entire comeback in the next couple innings, it really seems like she's starting to get dialed in for game two.
There you go. Amber, 85 miles an hour in the gap. One of her hardest hits of the day. Emily on the other side, just another home run. No big deal.
I want to know what she eats for breakfast, that Emily Benson.
I've
She
told
just
you to
puts them
ask her.
out.
You haven't asked her yet?
I haven't asked her yet.
Okay.
I'm
Maybe we
guessing
need to
it's
find out in
12
between
eggs,
games.
a couple slices of bacon, 2 pieces of toast. This girl has got to be fueled the way she puts the ball in play.
And we're hitting, there's a second out for Amber. We're hitting at the ASA Stadium, which is in Oklahoma City, correct?
Correct. Yep. ASA Hall of Fame. It's a lot of the pinnacle of the sport is an opportunity to play in the College World Series, to get out there and play ASA. So we're lucky to have it in the software. We will be doing some renovations to it, just like they did at the field in Oklahoma City. But pretty cool for this to be a home field for the finals matchup.
So we're into the fifth inning. Amber's recorded her third out, and Emily has hit her 30th or whatever run to make it 36 runs here with no outs in the inning. And there's another shot, 84 miles an hour, right by the center fielder. That's going to put a runner on second base. She's going to be tough to stop. This is an impressive run, and we saw this from her the last 2 or 3 games. She can turn it on, and when she's moving, she's not going to miss many pitches.
Yeah, I mean, holy cow, look at this. Emily Benson, 44 for 55. That is outrageous. And I stand by this. I don't think she's made a soft out yet. So even those balls that she misses that go straight back, she's just missing underneath them. But the balls in play, I mean, those are loud outs. You can tell she's just dialed in.
That one might not do it. That's going to be her second out. 1 out remaining in the inning. She's got a 23-run lead so far, which is going to be tough, especially if she keeps doing that. There's another one. Looks like there's going to be runners. The run scored. So 37
Oof.
runs, runner on second base. Wow.
Didn't matter anyway. That one's getting out in a hurry.
My goodness. That is some serious power. 309 feet.
Yeah, I think these couple days off probably help these players too. Again, getting a lot of at bats in last week through the qualifying round. These games are long, and especially when they get up to those high scoring numbers, you're taking a lot of swings. You're taking a lot of hard swings. So to consistently be able to barrel up at 84 miles per hour, a couple days off definitely helps in your ability to do that. So it's quite the offensive performance here for Emily Benson.
She's just destroying it. She can't miss right now. Look at this. Opposite field, home run. Every single pitch. And it's, you just have a great shot of Amber, which again, she can do nothing but sit there and watch. What do you think, Elena, is going through Amber's head right now in this position?
She's like, man, I wish I recruited Emily Benson. Amber is a coach at a University of San Diego. I think she's got some of her players online here. She also coaches in Austria. But as a true coach, I think Amber also probably has an even keel about her. I think coaches have this magical way of not getting too high or not getting too low. At least a lot of them do. So I think what Amber's going to do, and she kind of gave us a heads up that this was going to be her approach as she found herself in a little bit of a hole, is not even look at the other side of the screen. Just focus on what she has to do, stay to her tempo. She's got one more inning to do it as we head here into the sixth. She's got 3 outs to play with, a pretty big comeback she's going to have to mount. But, if more than anything, if she can find a way to start getting on time, getting in rhythm, doing exactly that. To your point, Andrew, keeping the ball off the ground, driving the gaps, getting some extra base hits, I think she's going to put herself in a really good position for game 2.
I think you're right. I think that's where she needs to look. Use this time to get a feel for what she wants to do going forward. And on the opposite side, if you're Emily, I'm not too concerned about a quick inning here because I think ultimately it can just save some energy. These players are taking a lot of swings. Emily's already taken 65 herself. See, Amber's taking half of that. Wow, look at that. Caught
Right at
at
the
the
wall.
wall. And she
So
shrugs her shoulders.
the sixth inning format here is at bat for at bat. So we start with the higher seed, Amber, the 13th seed coming into this game, Emily Benson, the 7th seed. And it adds a little bit of drama to the gameplay. It also gives these players an opportunity to kind of catch their breath in between at bats, make sure they're taking fresh swings as we go into the sixth inning and make sure that we're getting their best. So that's why you're seeing them go back and forth. And again, I mean, I know you mentioned might be a good opportunity for Emily Benson to take some swings off. But I'll tell you what, I think Ali Aguilar probably felt in a pretty similar position at this point, and it kind of came back to bite her. So we'll see if Emily Benson, if I were her, I'm not taking any chances. I'm putting a barrel on every ball, at least trying to make sure that it can create as much distance as I can from the relentless Amber Schisler.
I don't expect her to either. She hasn't, at one point through this entire tournament, has she taken any pitch off.
Yeah, I agree. Her consistency has just been so remarkable.
So you did see the pitches look decent now, but in the last at bat for Amber, there was another ball almost at her ankles. So maybe she wants to try and step back out and in between games, see if she can get that fixed. There's a foul ball to the right side. So that's the third pitch of the at bat. So she's got one more pitch to roll through with a runner on first
Oh,
base.
no.
Is that going to be a double play?
I think that's going to do it.
That does it.
So
You see her shake her hands in frustration. All right, there we go.
double play to end the game. But the beauty of the finals matchup is it is a 3-game series. So I think a really impressive performance from Emily Benson. I mean, come on, not much more that you can ask for there. Holy cow. 776 average, 27 home runs, 45 RBIs. That 750 with runners in scoring position. I mean, those are just numbers that are tough to beat and tough to even hang with, huh, Andrew?
Yep. And to be honest with you, over the last few games, I think that's kind of become the norm from Emily. So, it's going to be on Amber to step up and make some moves here. She's scored well above 14 runs in almost all of her games to this point. So we know she's capable of it. I think she's got to take, we're probably going to take a 30-minute break here, get them a chance to rest up and collect themselves. So I think Amber needs to just use that time wisely, get a few swings in, but more, get lined up mentally and get ready to come back and get a W to force a game 3.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll meet you back here at it looks like 10:40 Eastern. I believe that's 7:40 Pacific, and we're looking forward to a game 2, a must win for Amber Schisler, Emily Benson. One more win, and you're putting $10,000 in your pocket. So we'll see you back here at 10:40.
Okay, and we are live again here at game number 2 of the HitTrax Open Fastpitch Finals. So we had in game number 1, Emily Benson put on a show, scoring 44 runs en route to a pretty smooth victory. Heading into game number 2 here, we'll see if Amber can make a little comeback and force game 3. So again, I'm Andrew Barry. I'm joined by my colleague Elena Bowman. Elena, what are you looking for in this matchup today?
Well, I think we both know that these players can put up a significant amount of runs. What I want to see out of this game, too, is that Amber Schisler fight that we've come to know and love. When she's down, she's never out. We've seen her in a big comeback. We talked about it all in game 1. Her big sixth inning comeback against Ali Aguilar, a 12-run sixth inning. She did the same thing against Chitty. She had a great fight against Sachel Palacios in the semifinal round. So I'll tell you what, I think this is going to be an absolute shootout to the end, but I don't expect Amber Schisler to give up until she at least forces that game 3.
No, I was just saying, I really think with the kind of competitor Amber is, she will absolutely come out firing. She has been playing the game her whole life, and again is still coaching overseas, as you know, in various other circumstances. So she's sitting out of EM Speed School in Rancho Cucamonga, and I really think she's going to come out. You can see her; she's got a little bit of a swagger there in the video, huh? She looks like she might have taken some hacks in between games, coming out feeling good.
Yeah, I love it. And Amber has been super transparent about her nothing to lose mentality. She steps into that box. She's told us every time she steps in the box, she says to herself, anything is possible. She's absolutely going for it. And I'd love to see her have some fun, let loose in game 2, swing the bat. We all know she can. Quick little background on both players. Amber Schisler graduated from Campbell University. She was a 2017 Big South Player of the Year. She goes on, tears it up in international ball in Austria. I know we have some people watching at 4 a.m. in Austria right now on this stream. So she's clearly made some amazing relationships out there, and has just left a serious footprint everywhere that she's been. And now the opportunity to get to know her throughout this tournament and her journey here into this finals round. She takes down Ali Aguilar in game 1. She takes down Chitty in game 2. She goes against Sachel Palacios in a 3-game series in the semifinals to land here. So she is an absolute competitor. We all know she can play ball, but she is up against a serious competitor in Emily Benson herself, who has just had absolutely dominating wins throughout her entire journey here in the HitTrax Open. It's been such a joy to watch her compete in this qualifying round, in this bracket round. She takes down Brittany Cervantes, the catcher for Team Mexico, in round 1. She moves on and takes down Andrew, game 2. She goes in and she takes down, I think it was Hannah
Hannah
Flip, right?
Flippin, the
They're in a
16 seed.
54-30 upset. And I know Hannah, I say upset, even though Hannah was a 16 seed, but Hannah's a starting catcher for Team USA, or starting second baseman, I'm sorry. She's a back-to-back Pac-12 Player of the Year. So Hannah's got some game, and Emily goes in fearless, gets the job done in the semifinals, tears it up, 3-game series against Lily Piper. But how about her game 3 against Lily Piper? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she got to a point in the 3rd and 4th inning as the game was underway here where she was just teeing off, just like you see there, an 86-mile-an-hour ball right back up the middle. But she really started. I actually I heard the pitching machine started throwing a little bit of a cutter coming inside, and rather than just getting jammed and kind of, I guess struggling with that, she just got the barrel of the bat out in front a little bit further and started dropping bombs to left field, into the left field bleachers when we were playing at University of Arizona. So,
Yeah, and look at this. True to Emily Benson, hot start. We should start calling her Hot Start and Ben. She just gets in there and gets ahead. I mean, already 2 runs on the board, not to be outdone. Amber Schisler with the 2-run home run. But Emily Benson, we've seen her score early and often throughout this series. So just an impressive start there for her, still with a couple outs left to play in the first inning.
yeah, so we see Amber making a bit of a move here, hanging tough. I really think early in this game is going to be important to keep it tight, put the pressure on Emily. I think that's what's ultimately going to make that case for
Oof,
the later innings to be a little bit tighter. But
that
there's a
ball
bomb to
is
center field.
torched.
That's just what she does. That's just what she does. There's a hot shot to the shortstop for her second out, though. Unfortunately, on the other side, Amber pops up with a 65-degree launch angle hit for her second out. So Emily is looking pretty darn good out of the gate here. Amber, 2 runs, 2 outs. Still time to keep this thing tight. 4 runs is nothing at this point in the game, though.
Yeah, and look at that off the back. What's so fun about this matchup too is they're just such different approaches. Look at Amber go. That's a shot over right center field. I feel like we don't see her too much with the pull power, more the oppo power, but I think that's a really good sign if she can start driving the ball to all parts of the field. A little bit of a smile there out of her. That's awesome. But you have Emily who scores consistently, scores up the ball often, runs away with the lead when she has one. But you also have Amber who is relentless throughout every out of every inning. So it's really an interesting matchup here. 2 kind of different strategies, 2 different approaches. Again, selfishly, I'm hoping for some more softball. I'm hoping for a game 3, but Emily off to a 6-3 start here in game 2.
Yeah, I'm with you there. A quick out from Amber. That was almost a 90-degree launch angle on that pop-up. That's pretty impressive, actually. So first and second, runners on base for Emily. And there's that opposite field power you talked about. There you go, 254 feet to the left center field gap. But Emily follows it up with a 3-run shot of her own, going 295 feet.
Wow.
And the second out quickly recorded for Amber. This is where it's going to be. If I'm in Amber spot, I might, you see her taking a step out. I like this. Collect yourself. And there's an out from Emily, 53 degrees. So now you kind of get a little bit, maybe something like that just gives you some confidence to go in and put some hits together and score a few runs with 2 outs.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you're new to this format, if you're just tuning in, Emily Benson took game 1 over Amber Schisler. This is a best of 3 game series, so this is a must win for Amber here on the screen on the right. We're playing 6 innings, a minimum pitch speed of 50 miles per hour. And what you're seeing is inning by inning advancing together. So if Amber goes on a run here and Emily makes her 3rd out, Emily's got nothing to do but watch Amber go for it. So you'll see some of these players step out time to time, see the action on the other half of the screen, see what's going on, see the gap they need to close. But it's pretty fun to watch when you start getting that simultaneous hitting. So this is actually a good example of it. Amber has now made her 3rd out. Emily Benson still with an out left to play with. And Amber's got nothing to do but watch.
It's a 51-mile-an-hour hit. Sometimes that's all you need. And she follows it up with an 85-mile-an-hour homer. Wow. That one right there could be the 3rd out of the inning. Looks like it is. And so it's 11-4 going into the 3rd inning. That could have been worse. I think Amber is probably pretty happy to be in this situation considering she finished that inning before Emily. So both players seem to be off to a decent start here. Emily is about on pace. I think Amber is going to have to make some moves. She's running out of innings. We're only in the 3rd of 6, but this is only a 6-inning game. So I'd like to see her maybe put up a 6 to 7, maybe 10-run inning here.
Yeah, and she can do it. She's got that ability to put up crooked numbers. I find myself loving Amber's approach, this pitch-to-pitch approach. She doesn't chase early in the count if she doesn't like it. And I think that gives her an ability to stretch these innings long when she needs to. She'll do exactly that. I got to tell you, sometimes I think Emily Benson's kind of like that little sister. You get a hit, and then your little sister's like, watch me do it better. And so you see Amber there on that first at bat. Great line drive to the right center gap. There you go. Amber, shot of her own. But Emily just seems to answer counterpunch with every hit that Amber gets. She's kind of relentless. I can imagine it's a little demoralizing looking over at the other side of the screen. And no matter how many runs you've put up, it's got to feel like you're never closing that gap against Benson.
Well, I'll tell you what, Emily's got 2 dead, runner on 2nd. Nobody out with a runner on 3rd for Amber. She's starting to put some pieces together. She's had about 4 extra base hits here in a row, so this could be the opportunity. And there's a home, as I say that, there's a 85-mile-an-hour home run by Emily. but nonetheless a good spot here to be able to make up some ground and put herself in a position to potentially come close to tying this game heading into the fourth inning. There you go.
And she does it. And there's the little sister right behind her. Amber said 238. Emily said, I'll do 244. Just an inch farther. But I'll tell you what, to your point, Andrew, Amber's doing everything that she needs to do. She's keeping this game within reach. She's obviously finding her rhythm. I think that 4 or 5 hits in a row for her. And she's starting to barrel up at that 78 miles per hour, that 75 pretty consistently. You know, we've seen her reach that 88 every now and again. That's a shot out of Emily. It's so impressive how hard she hits the ball to be able to put those balls out. Those low launch angles, 19 degrees. Typically, you're not going to see a home run at 19 degrees. She's just hitting the ball so hard. But again, Amber, she just really seems to be finding her groove here, huh? This is the Amber we see really go on runs.
She is. She's absolutely killing it. The problem is on the other side, Emily is doing the exact same thing with 2 outs. I mean, you got to, if you're Amber right now, there's a ground out by Emily. Okay, so Emily now has 3 outs. Amber has no outs with a runner on third.
Right.
A huge opportunity here. So if you're going to make a move, now is the time. Maybe even starting to think about taking the lead going into the fourth inning. This is like we said last game. Amber seems to have really played her best ball when her back is against the wall.
Yeah, and that just makes her so fun to watch. To see if that scores a run. No, runner stays on third there, but still a couple outs to play with. And I'm so curious, Andrew. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Amber closes this gap. And truthfully, we really haven't seen Emily Benson play from behind. So we know how Amber's responds to pressure. Emily has always, throughout the tournament has consistently just been in the driver's seat of these games. It's almost been, she comes out to such a hot start. It's almost been her game to lose. But I'm curious to see what happens when Amber, it seems like she's in a good position to close this gap. How Emily's going to respond and counterpunch in this next inning.
Yeah, unfortunately, Amber got 2 quick outs there. She did just put a ball off the wall to score the runner on third. That was a big one, but there's another big run out there. That is a flare. Is it going to drop? Not quite. So I think that's a missed opportunity for Amber. She's still only within 7 runs, which, as you see, can be made up in the blink of an eye. So in a much better position than we saw in game 1. Emily, who could do nothing but watch there, is stepping in right away and getting after it with a base knock up the middle. And Amber doesn't seem to be taking too much time in between either. She wants to keep that rhythm going that she had.
Yeah, so we're officially halfway through, 3 innings down, 3 left to play. Emily Benson with an 18-11 lead. Still a lot of at-bats left for both players. And I think we're really starting to see both of them do their best hitting. So I think there's going to be a couple interesting innings we run in here in the 4th and the 5th. And we got to see if Amber's going to put the foot on the gas pedal here and close the gap a little bit, heading into that 6th inning.
So at this point, 20-11, another 86-mile-an-hour shot from Emily, just consistently up in the 80s, well above the field in terms of velocity, and she's doing it at the right angles. Amber, another base knock. They're going toe-to-toe right now, and there's a ground ball from Emily. Looks like that's going to be a ground out. Looks like the shortstop needed some help from second base on that, which is all right. That's okay. So it's 1 out. 1 out on both sides here, and Amber steps up, and that is not going to cut it.
It's not going to do it.
She's had a few of those flares the last couple innings now, just flares to right field. I don't know if she's getting too far out in front of the ball or what, but she seems typically when she's hitting the ball to the opposite field, she's putting it in the gap pretty strongly. Just right now, that doesn't seem to play, but there you go. There's a nice double in the gap.
Yeah, that's a good response.
So once again, 2 outs from both players. Amber with 2 runners on. That is just a missile.
I gotta say, Emily Benson just seems unshakable, in her confidence, her approach, her pace. She's a machine, and you get a machine in their rhythm and they don't slow down, and that's what we're seeing. Back-to-back Benson again, bring that hashtag out. She just continues to put the ball on the other side of the fence and tack up her lead against Amber Schisler here in the finals.
This is ridiculous. Look at this. Another
Is that
85
4 in
mile
a
an hour
row?
home run. Are you serious?
Wow.
And again, to the
That is
opposite field.
outrageous.
She is
This is a
spraying the ball
light
around the
show.
park.
Holy cow.
This is
Get
there's not you see Amber over there, she's shrugging her shoulders. What are you supposed to do when you have a
Wow.
player of this caliber just teeing off? She's putting up 40 to 50, potentially 60 runs a game. When she gets in this mode, there's nothing you can do. You got to tip your cap. 82 miles an hour to dead center.
Wow,
That
you kind of
now,
wonder what her BP rounds look like. This is outrageous.
if you think back
Holy cow.
on the clock, maybe what, 4 minutes ago, this was a 7-run game. This is now a 20-run lead for Emily Benson with 2 outs in this inning, and she's still doing it.
Yeah, we haven't seen Emily Benson waste not one out. Holy cow. Even down to her final one, she just continues to grind. And that was going to be big for her. And she knows it. She knows Amber's ability to come back in late innings. And she doesn't look like she has any intention of letting Amber back in the door.
My goodness, I'm gonna make a bold prediction and say that Emily's gonna hit a home run here.
What's the over-under, Andrew?
There it goes.
Wow.
80 miles an hour at 26 degrees.
She's just having fun with it now. Holy cow.
She's teeing off, and again, you can see Amber shaking her head down there. She's had a great game so far, and she's just looking up the screen like, yeah, what are you supposed to do? Another one, opposite field, 74 miles an hour. That ball was probably even mishit. 39 runs now through 3 2/3 innings. This is incredible.
She is teeing off. And so, you kind of love, so if you look in the bottom right, not to take attention off the fireworks show that's going on the left-hand side of the screen. But Amber Schisler's being fed by her best friend, Lindsay Thomas, who is also in the tournament, had runs of her own. That's another one. It's outrageous what Emily Benson is doing with 2 outs here. But you kind of wonder if now going into these last couple innings, if Lindsay Thomas is able to give her any feedback as she steps into the box, keep her spirits high, her confidence up. There's nothing that Amber can do but focus on one at bat at a time. And so I think, the opportunity to have your best friend in there feeding you, don't even look at the other side of the screen. Emily is mounting 20, 30 run lead now, so don't worry too much about what her score is. Amber's going to really have to focus on what she can do to get back in this game. And, hope Emily breaks her bat or something.
At this point, that's what it's going to take. The only thing, we just saw an 87 mile an hour hit a few hits ago. The only thing Emily hasn't done this tournament is hit a ball 90 miles an hour. As she finally, a leaping catch from the center fielder, records the 3rd out. Hats off to the center fielder. What an inning from Emily Benson, 45-11 heading into the 5th inning.
That was a clinic. She absolutely put on a display of what it looks like to barrel up the softball. But I like this. Get in there, Amber. That looks like it's going to fall in for an extra base hit. And do your thing. Again, if I'm Amber, I'm not looking at the other side of the screen. If I'm Lindsay Thomas, the one feeding her machine, I'm saying, don't worry about what's going on. Let's have fun. And I hope she continues to look at that bat and tell herself that mantra, anything is possible. She does exactly what she needs to do right there. Does that sneak over? Sack fly. That's tough. That's a long out.
I believe that was a 27-run inning last inning. Just an incredible run. She's got a quick out here. So anything can happen here. The problem is for Amber that it doesn't look like Emily's going to slow down. She just hit another ball 303 feet. She's consistently broken that 300-foot barrier throughout the course of this tournament.
Absolutely on command here. Emily Benson is just ordering home runs and serving them up herself. That is wild.
That scoreboard out there is going to be in rough shape after this game. Wow. 65 miles an hour, 30 degrees, caught. Just So we have 2 outs for both players. And you're absolutely right. If you're Amber at this point, you've got nothing to lose. Step in, take some hacks, get a nice little rhythm. Just see what happens now. Emily has 3 outs. As she said throughout this entire tournament, anything is possible. This would be a groundbreaking comeback at this point. That said, I'm not going to say it's out of the question because she can go on an absolute run here. Unfortunately,
Yeah, and
there's a
just
third out for the inning.
in the same way, I think Emily put up 25 of those 27. I don't want to misspeak, but on 2 outs, so there's a lot that you could do with every single out in this game. The beauty of this of a HitTrax matchup is you're getting fed strikes at balls that you can barrel up at velocities that are going to fly. So you just got to get in a rhythm here. And so here, heading into the 6th inning of this game, it's the final inning. We're going to go at bat for at bat. So Amber Schisler is a 13 seed. She's going to start us off, and then Emily will follow. They'll go back and forth until the end of the inning. But, you hope to see Amber make every single out count here. We know she will. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the best start.
Well, this is I'm going to say this is a victory lap for Emily Benson. Let's just see what kind of show she can put on. There's a home run to left to start out the inning. I'm wondering if she can get to 60 runs, score the most runs in a ball game to beat Lily Piper. Amber's absolutely not going to go down without a fight.
There you go.
Nice shot to field that opposite field power, and followed right up. So this is a cool format. This is a really cool format. These players each get a hit and take a step back and see the other person's screen. And there's the second out, and Emily Benson is now 1 out away from winning herself $10,000. And there's another shot in the gap. Amber steps in. There's a fly out.
Down to her last out.
That's it.
Emily Benson is your 2020 Fastpitch HitTrax Open champion. Both players an incredible run. Emily's going to be taking home $10,000. Wow, what a display of just absolute dominance here from Emily Benson in the HitTrax Open finals.
Just relentless. Another 50 runs, and she hadn't recorded an out there. She could have gone on to put up 60, 75. Just an outstanding tournament. I really think the best player in this won, at least in terms of the circumstances of the machine in the cage right now. She took down All-Americans. She took down Amber, who had also taken down All-Americans and Olympians. Just an outstanding tournament. Tip your cap big time to Amber Schisler, who a cool story. She on Saturday, she was coaching. She had a camp that she had to cancel because she thought she was going to lose in the first round. So she had to play Saturday. She had to move that camp to a different day. And lo and behold, she made herself, took it all the way to the championship. So hats off to Amber. Unbelievable tournament. But my goodness, there's nothing she could have done to stop Emily Benson. She's just a train right now, just wrecking baseballs.
There was nothing that was going to slow down Ben, and this has just been such a fun tournament to follow on both sides of this screen. They're almost Cinderellas in their own right? Where Emily Benson has this prolific career at Western Washington, but we've really gotten the opportunity to know her throughout this tournament, and her display of competitiveness. And again, she never even had her back up against the wall. It felt like throughout the entire HitTrax Open, she really cruised through with some decisive victories, and just how cool, calm, collected she stayed and just let her put her talent on display was remarkable to watch. And then on the other side of that, right, you have Amber Schisler, the story that you just told, having to move her clinic, and really starting to prove to herself, not that she didn't already know it, but starting to prove to herself just what she can do in the box. As a stellar career at Campbell, goes off, plays international ball, shows what she can do there, and then comes up back and competes in this tournament against U.S. talent in Ali Aguilar, Amanda Chittister, who are both Team USA players. Just a remarkable tournament from Amber. You couldn't have asked for anything more competitive out of her. So I think we're really truly lucky to see this finals matchup.
Yeah.
And you're just really, to your point, you really feel like the best hitter in this competition, for given the circumstances, is bringing it home.
Yeah. And, you know, thank you to all of the players that participated in this, even the ones in the qualifier. We will be running this tournament again. So thank you to everybody involved, the players, the facilities, DBAT, EM Speed School, and all the other facilities that hosted players. Shout out to our sponsors, Lizard Skins and Marucci, for helping us put this together. So we will be running these tournaments again. Stay tuned. I also do think we should probably direct you to our Instagram. I think we should try and get an interview with Emily. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great. We should definitely have a chat with her, see how she's feeling. So head to our social media channels. We'll have a chat with Emily. Thanks for tuning in. If you're on the East Coast, thanks for staying up late. And Andrew, thanks for all your great commentary throughout the tournament.
Thanks, Elena. And one more quick shout out. Thank you to HitTrax Engineering for everything you've done here as well. It's a team effort.
Definitely.